Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us for this live stream for the NXT Great American Bash Night 2. Welcome from the tornado capital of the world, eastern North Carolina tonight, where we are undergoing flood and tornado warnings left and right. But the good folks at Focus Broadband got me up and running for a little while here, so we're going to try this stream. We're not going to worry about the weather. We're not going to worry about anything personally, because it is night 2 of the Great American Bash. Yes! Let's see here. We're working on some stuff here. That's probably going to make everything work right there. I'm sorry, guys. I'm working on stuff as we go, so let's see if this flies through. Maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, I did have something I wanted to put out tonight. Just sort of a simple request. If you guys are having thoughts and so on and so forth, please keep a lot of North Carolina in your prayers right now, because we are undergoing probably flood-like conditions and so on and so forth. I have not been out today. We are actually not allowed to go out when we're in a state of emergency. So the good news is you get all this good work. That's right. I put a whole lot of videos up today, so be sure to check it out on the page there at X or Twitter or whatever you're still calling it. But tonight was definitely a match-heavy night. So NXT finally listened to somebody who said, you know what, we like wrestlers and we like talking, so let's see if we can't put the two of them together. And they managed to put together 5 or 6 really good matches tonight. If I'm not, let me do the count. I didn't even count tonight. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we had 6 matches. Just making sure. And amazingly enough, they fit it all into 2 hours. I don't know how they did it. I'm kidding. I'm ribbing you guys. Hey, it was a good show. I'm not going to have a total amount of argument. I'm sorry. I'm just all tongue-tied today. Forgive me. I'm not going to have a lot of argument today about the match format or match placement. The only thing that I really just sort of getting into the show here would like to bring out is that Ethan Page did not even close the night out. Not a bad thing, though. Don't get me wrong. Not a bad thing, because the main event was actually way more exciting. And, it just turned out really good. So let's jump right into the work here. Like gang, comment gang, share gang, I really would appreciate it. We could definitely use the views tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live stream recap of your NXT Great American Bash Week 2, where the action was almost as hot as it was this summer, if you can believe that. We kicked off the night with Pete Dunne versus Trick Williams, and as an aside to this, we went from Trick Williams, your NXT Heavyweight Champion, just one pay-per-view ago, to curtain jerking this thing. So I'm going to do a show on that one, sort of an investigative, like an overall thought. And that's coming live probably tomorrow or the next day. Just something that's kind of caught me. It's got me intrigued, per se, because I want to know how somebody goes from being like the champion to literally opening the show and so on and so forth. We're going to get into this, though. Pete Dunne, sir. That was a good clinic tonight. Pete Dunne and Trick Williams did go at it. Technician versus maybe a technician, but it is what it is. Trick Williams brought his game. Pete Dunne brought his game. A lot of back and forth on this one, which you hear me say that a lot, because if I break down every little move and stuff, we will definitely be here all night. But, Pete Dunne had the heart and the will, and they have been giving him a little bit of a push, so I was really interested to see how this match was going to come out. It was surprising to me that this was the match opener. I cannot stress this enough. Trick Williams was literally just your champion. So if this is Triple H and Shawn Michaels' way of saying this is how we're going to start from the bottom, work our way up, hey, by all means, that was, yeah, we definitely got the message there. Trick Williams is definitely starting from the bottom, and he had to face a very spirited Pete Dunne, who is a long-term veteran of the WWE main shows. He's been with Sheamus and the other kid from the university, Chase U University there. I can't hardly ever remember his name. They've got him down here on this show, and I don't watch it that much except for the live events like this right here. But Pete Dunne definitely brought a different view, a different look. He came out as the bruiserweight, which is quite frankly my favorite incantation of Pete Dunne. Came out with his regular joint manipulation. He moves really quick. He definitely moves like a European wrestler who has spent a whole lot more time somewhere other than WWE. And it showed. Trick Williams just seemed to be, I don't know. I'm trying to find the thought process that really fully described this match. It was reversal, reversal, move, 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 move. Trick did at least show that he could hang with Pete Dunne in that strong style of wrestling that Pete Dunne has. And overall, Pete Dunne really made the match work really well. And at the end of the day, Pete Dunne got the pinfall. I was absolutely shocked. It's a good way to open up. Nothing like having a little bit of off the cuff, wow, I didn't see that coming type of activity. Because in reality, that's exactly what it was. So, shout out to WWE, shout out to NXT for catching us all off guard. I figured this was just going to be Trick Williams clocking in, doing his thing, doing that whoop that trick thing, and going out with the win. So, Pete Dunne actually winning this match is probably the big upset of the night. And I hate to use words like upset because Pete Dunne's got many, many, many years of experience over Trick Williams. That didn't slow Trick down, and that didn't slow Pete down. They put together a hell of a match. So shout out to Pete Dunne, shout out to Trick Williams, and shout out to Trick Williams for taking that L. I can't wait to see where this storyline's going, and I'm pretty sure Trick Williams is hoping it goes to the pay window. If you don't know what the pay window is, that's a W, guys. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, Pete Dunne picks up the victory over Trick Williams. Absolute shocker. I'm calling that one the upset of the week, and I will probably do that one on a Fire Stories coming up in the next day or two. I just put out a Fire Stories today. It's on YouTube, and it's also on Twitter, Facebook. It's not exactly made its way yet to Instagram. That's the one that we just added. Guys, I'm sorry because, you know, I'm looking at it and I'm feeling it in the whole 9 yards. But yeah, I mean, that's the feel. I'm just going to call it a dead upset. I don't have any other way to word it. It was a very strong match. Everybody put their best into this match. It's a good way to start. Got the crowd hyped, got the crowd fired up. And then we move right after that to Tatum Paxley versus Kalani Jordan for our first actual title match for the night. Kalani, young lady, I hope your knee's okay, and I hope that's a work. I really do. Because what happened tonight did not look like anything I wanted to write home about. I saw surgery written all over that, so I'm really hoping you're doing well. The Women's North American title was on the line when Tatum Paxley challenged the reigning champion, Kalani Jordan. Paxley's strategy to target Jordan's left leg nearly paid off. Actually, with the accident, I missed it. So if any of you guys caught it, throw it in the comments section, or throw it in the comments section when you watch this again. Just kind of let me know what you saw on that one, because obviously I missed it. But yeah, somewhere along the lines, Kalani Jordan got injured, so to speak, and it almost worked. But the champion's resilience, I know that we take pot shots at the training center. I do. I know my cohorts do. My friends do. we all take pot shots at the training center, but in fact, I think the training that she's done specifically with Shawn Michaels, because if I understand correctly, Shawn Michaels has trained Kalani Jordan a lot, and definitely she's his favorite. So somewhere along the line, she picked up a way to kind of work through the pain. I don't know. For me, it's usually just pick something you focus on and focus on that and forget about the pain. And believe it or not, that really does work. I've had a lot of surgery in my life, and there is a mental procedure. There are levels to that mentally. And quite frankly, it's sometimes it takes a little while to get into it. Sometimes you're Kalani Jordan and you can just wrestle through it. Congratulations. Shout out to Kalani Jordan, because that really didn't look like a work to me. It looked more like a shoot. But that's neither here nor there either. At the end of the day, well, Kalani Jordan picked up the win over Tatum Paxley, much to the chagrin of the audience, but I think we were all pretty much laid up for that one in the first place. And then Wendy Choo shows up at the end of the match with a little toy doll and gives it to Tatum Paxley. And as the camera starts to pan out, I guess as Wendy Choo said, as her own post said on Twitter, well, I guess she just had to choke something. And I ain't going to go into total detail to what she said, but yeah, I guess I got to choke something. As she choked out Tatum Paxley, and really that was the quickest chokeout in the history of chokeouts, because it was less than like 30 seconds when the camera panned over there. Paxley's out, Chew's sitting there, and it's kind of eerie, and I like the eeriness of it. So I'm guessing our big match coming in September is going to be Kalani Jordan and Wendy Chew. Not a bad build-up, though. Wendy Chew's been kind of lurking in the background during the regular shows, and so it seems to me like the storyline's pointing in that general direction. Maybe the title comes to Wendy Chew. I don't know. I'm not writing the scripts, but if it were up to me, as long as we're running with the Wyatt Six up on the main roster, it makes sense to have Wendy Chew down there doing the similar to the Wyatt Six type attitude. So it makes sense that we might want to get her set up for a title. You never know. But it looks like that. It looks like Wendy Chew's next in line for the North American Women's title. Kalani Jordan got that win, and I just really can't think of enough good words to say, because obviously something happened there. All our best to Kalani Jordan. I hope she recovers quickly. And moving right along, then we get, of course, we had a lot of vignettes. I'm not covering those. I'm just doing results today because the vignettes get on my nerves. I'm not going to argue. Not going to create some kind of narrative that just doesn't need to be created. I've been fighting in chat rooms a lot these past recent few weeks, and I'm just not going to fire up another fight to have when somebody calls me out. So as far as the overall quality so far, we're still at a high, I'm still at a high 3 out of 5. So I'm still at 66. The quality is there. Coming up after that, though, is I don't think that it's spoken on enough. Match order is key to any kind of live event you're doing, especially something that's being touted as a pay-per-view or a PLE. Match order matters. Now, even though Trick Williams lost the match, he still got the crowd hyped up. Him and Pete Dunne did their job. They did the curtain jerk. They got the crowd working. So then it's up to the booker to book the matches and the order of the matches to keep the energy flowing. Now, I'm 100% sure that nobody that booked this show looked at a Trick Williams-Pete Dunne match and go, "Oh, this is going to be the fuse to light the dynamite." Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure when they booked this, they were not sitting there going, "Yeah, Trick Williams and Pete Dunne, that's going to be the powder keg that gets this show going." But it did. So a good booker goes, okay, so what we need to do is If the tag match is going to be your top match for the night, if that's your draw, then this next match should have been immediately under that or after that. Because, guys, I continue to be underwhelmed by Ethan Page, and it has absolutely nothing to do with where he's come from and where he's gotten. The man specifically told you that he's happy being in NXT because everything's scripted and coordinated for him. Which means obviously he wasn't a quality fit from where he came from, where nothing is scripted, and you pretty much have to go out and make your own fun like Mom and Dad used to make us do when we were kids. You know, when it was raining, they'd like, go out and make your own fun. You know, and that's basically how AEW is lined up. Here it is, go out and make your own fun. Here's the parameters, so on and so forth. Apparently, Ethan didn't do so well in that, so he's very happy to be here where everybody hands him a script and says, this is what we're doing and this is how we're doing it. He said that live. So, the fact that we get Ethan Page and Ora Mensa midway through the card, basically, there's not a nice way to say this. The NXT title was defended at the mid-card position. And it failed to deliver on about 8 different levels to keep that energy going. So either it should have been the curtain jerker, or it should have been in a position where it couldn't affect the rest of the flow. And of course, when you're booking the match, I'm not complaining about the bookers. When you're booking the match, and I've got a talent like Ethan Page, and I've got a talent like Ora Mensa, I feel like as a booker I should be able to put them together and get lightning in a bottle. He defended the title in a match that could have headlined the show, but it didn't necessarily deliver for me. Now, it delivers for the crowd, but you only got like 180, 200 people in there. Not hard to deliver for 200 people, especially people that have already been juiced stepping into it. The 2 previous matches were hot. Tatum Paxley's moveset, the way she carries herself in the ring, she kept that level of energy up. And so did Kalani Jordan. So it was up to Ethan Page and Ora Mensa to keep that ball rolling, and I don't think Ethan Page is the man to place it a mid-card. You either open or close with him. And in this case right here, I probably would have closed. There were some janky moments in the match. We got a good look at Ora's athleticism in this match, which I was very, very, very well taken in. He actually made up for where Ethan Page fell short. And I said it. Ethan, you're junk. Okay? The quicker they get that title off of you and get you wherever the hell they're going to put you, the better. Because at least the guys had a flow, a match progress, and everything, and they understood each other's energy. You just walk in there and you just like throw water on a fire and you're like, why is it not burning? They got a specific energy there, dude. And you're not matching it. Period. No pause, no apology. I mean, seriously, that's what I thought of your match. I hope that sound came through. If it didn't, let me know in the comments. But anyway, Ethan Page got up and stunk the screen up for about 5 seconds, and then Ora Mensa jumped in, did his job, made the match work out right. Ora Mensa came up on the wrong side of this. No title for Ora tonight, but he definitely showed that he could carry the title. And he could make a match, even in the placement of where they put him. Even in the match flow, Ora can flow. Because he's an OG. Plain and simple. But regardless of that, Ethan Page did pick up the win and moved on. And he popped a couple of promos like, I'll take on anybody in the world. And from that standpoint, I'm not going to shit on his promos because the man can cut a promo. The man does work the mic rather smoothly. So I'm not going to shit on his promo ability. It's just, there's just something about him that just rubs me the wrong way. The energy was gone. So I got nothing else to say for Ethan Page except he won the match. Congratulations. Go enjoy your title. After that, we had I Believe in Joe Hendry versus I think I know Joe Coffey. I do know Joe Coffey. I'm kidding. Joe Hendry and Joe Coffey was actually the comedy match of the night. Shout out to both of these guys. They really put on a hell of a match. In a position having to follow that ass gas, I just don't even know. There just aren't words to describe it. Joe Hendry is an exceptional talent. And I never thought I'd say that, but the fact of the matter is Joe Hendry is an exceptional talent. I got to give him credit. He put on a hell of a match, and that little spot over on the announcement table, that is not only a lost art, but it was fucking cool, okay? It was absolutely fucking cool. Because you just don't see that kind of side action in a match anymore. Shout out to Joe Hendry for pulling that off. I don't know if that was scripted or whether he went off the reservation, because that had Eddie Guerrero written all over it. That really did. And I don't know if he intended to do it that way. Doesn't matter whether he intended to do it that way. Yeah, this is going to be a short stream. I just got a notification saying that we're about to lose internet again, so I'm going to try to blow through these things as quickly as possible. Once again, I'm sorry. I'll do a better job once the internet is up, running, and reliable. But yeah, getting back to what I was saying, Joe Hendry, I think it would be a pleasure to see him in NXT. Now, I don't know exactly how Joe Hendry would work in the main roster, since that seems to be the direction they're wanting to pull him in. Congratulations, TNA, you just lost a draw. But yeah, he really showed up and showed out tonight. The fake chair thing on the table, that worked really well. Good back and forth. Joe Hendry's mechanics are sound. Joe Coffey's mechanics are sound. As far as I'm concerned, that was at least a 3-star match for me. Joe Hendry picks up the win with his finisher, the standing ovation, and I thought, we're going to have to fix that when you get to the main roster, because you don't have 10 to 15 seconds to set up a finisher. Nobody on the main roster is going to buy that shit, okay? I love you, Joe. I believe in Joe Hendry, but on a main roster, this is just something to think about. Should you happen to, come across this stream and you wanted to hear something from this old dude sitting here in North Carolina, don't bring that finisher to the main roster. Or if you're going to bring that finisher to the main roster, tighten it up a little bit. It was like 10, 15 seconds putting that thing together. And the main event crowd, the 18,000 as opposed to the 200, are going to call that out, and they're going to boo the hell out of that. They won't boo it like boo, but they're just not going to pop for you. And when they don't pop, that's worse than a boo. At least a boo is a reaction. But you're not going to get a pop with a 15-second setup for a finish. Especially when it's like trying to remake Queen and We Will Rock You being the lead of it. That takes a few seconds to get into. But regardless, Joe Hendry looked really good overall. Picked up the win with a standing ovation. And he gave an in-ring segment that said he wasn't going anywhere. He thought he'd hang around for a little while, and I agree. I think he does. I think he needs to hang around for a little while because WWE needs that kind of energy in that roster now. Because, quite frankly, it's not there. It's a different kind of energy. It's a good energy, and I think it might actually boost ratings a little bit. It's definitely drawing eyes to the product. We can't argue that. No one can argue that. I will never argue that. Joe Hendry is a classic talent that probably should have been utilized elsewhere for different things because he's better than what they've got him listed at. But either way, Joe Hendry picks up the win over Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey was obviously upset. and we're not really caring what Joe Coffey was upset about. He lost. Moving along, Ren Sinclair versus Kendall Gray. Now, Ren Sinclair has been trying to get into the no quarter catch crew for like a minute, a hot minute at that. And so Tony D'Angelo comes walking up the crowd and says, you know what, I'll put something on this one myself. If Ren Sinclair actually wins this match, we're going to give what's-his-face's kid a title shot. We're going to give Steve Regal's kid a title shot. So automatically that sets the tone. That sets the tone here. I like the match. I really did. I think that Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray can be the future of the women's division. I think they're definitely in the right spot. They were definitely in the right match order because this definitely hyped up. This hyped up the final. This hyped up the main event. So as far as I'm concerned, they did their job. Ren Sinclair looked absolutely amazing. This was probably not supposed to be a squash match, but at the rate they were going, it was heading in that general direction. So without a doubt, Ren Sinclair picks up the win. It was Charlie Dempsey, that's his name. I had to think about it. Charlie Dempsey. Charlie Dempsey's got to be happy. Ren Sinclair picked up the win. She's in no quarter catch crew now. Huh? Anyway, nice match. Kendall Gray, girl, you have got some moves too. Don't let this one slow you down. Don't let any of these L's slow you down. You're going to take a few L's when you're coming up in the ranks, especially when you start with NXT, when you start at WWE. You're not going to start with wins. But the match flowed. The match looked really good. It was short, 4 minutes, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. And Ren Sinclair picks up the win, moves on. And Charlie Dempsey will be trying for the Heritage Cup. Still don't understand this, but it's okay. It's okay. And that brings us to our tag team main event tonight. The tag team action was off the charts as Nathan Frazier and Axiom defended their NXT title against Wes Lee and Zachary Wentz. And I can't remember what their team name was. I apologize. I was trying to get the stream, trying to beat the Floods, trying to beat the Tornadoes. So I missed the I missed their little catch name, and I was not watching NXT when they were together. In a match that featured, if you blinked, you missed it. It was a good back and forth. It really was. They both showed off their athleticism. These guys are freaky athletic. And once again, when you do the call-ups on this one, I'm just going to tell you right now, I like both of them. I like all four of them. They need to tighten up a few things. I threw a few things out today where I think all wrestlers could benefit from it. One of the things I noticed in the match, Wes Lee gets in there and does his job. Zachary Wentz gets in there and does his job. Now, I know there's some kind of angle going between Axiom and Nathan Frazier about who's ready for the match and who's not ready for the match. Clearly, Axiom was not ready for the match, and that's part of the angle that they're working right now. But it made for some ugly fucking wrestling, okay? You can do a lot of things. Yes, I believe in Joe Hendry too, me. Whoever you are. Thanks for commenting, by the way. I love comments. Hey, we got 4 viewers. That's 4 more than I thought I was going to have with all the weather and my internet connection. So thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I got something for you here. Just bear with me a minute. That wasn't it. Anyway, that's it. Even my soundboard's going on strike tonight, so bear with me. Lots of high flying, lots of action, lots of everything in this match. Axiom failed to deliver on the angle, and I'm just going to put it out there like that. This angle is getting old. this not being ready angle is, and tonight they probably should have dropped the titles because it's clear they're on their way to the main roster. Probably SmackDown at this rate. It's clear to me that all four of them are on their way to the main roster. I'm not sure about Wentz. They may have to have him go back to TNA for a little while till his contract pops, and then when his contract pops, he'll be there. It's clear they're going to the mains. So they were working, in my estimation, a pretty safe match tonight. And that's why I said it was clear they were going to the mains, because I was missing some of the intensity, some of the energy, etc., etc., etc. And but at the end of the night, Axiom and Nathan Frazier did get the pin, and it was kind of janky and it was kind of clumsy, but it got through there. We got to the end of it, and you know, they're still your tag team champions going through to next week. They got some big live events lined up for September or October 1st, October 8th. That was one that we're going to discuss in detail as the time gets closer. But for now, as I've gotten to the end of it, I would like to thank everyone who stayed. And for people who are watching, I'm sorry this was such a short stream, but we're in the middle of a hurricane, so bear with me. We'll have a longer stream probably Thursday. I'm thinking Thursday, not sure yet. Definitely not tomorrow night, because at the Covalent TV is going to be bringing that good work on the Dynamite review for AEW. I may do an AEW review in the morning following that, so be on the lookout Thursday morning. Good possibility we're going to see an AEW Dynamite review. And this weekend I will be reviewing Collision and SmackDown and Rampage all in the same show, so you're not going to want to miss that. That's going to air immediately after Collision on Gramps TV here with the Sicko Show. And so once again, everybody, I'd like to thank you all for joining us tonight, and good night, America, wherever you are, and I hope this hurricane gets the hell out of here soon. Y'all take care.